And hello, I am late. I'm late. I was supposed to be here. Man, I was supposed to be on at 10:30. I was supposed to do this yesterday. Or 30 minutes before our live was supposed to start yesterday. Our internet went out and everything went crazy. And then I rescheduled it for today, for this evening. And then Jessica decided that we need to go get something to eat. And then that took forever. So I was late getting back. So I just got back. But we're here now. Welcome to the Conversations on Content. My name is James. For those of you that are new here, I help people create better content, work on their strategic plans, monetize that content, and improve their engagement with their audience. If you like that kind of stuff, make sure you stick around. Today, we're talking about content rules. There's only one rule that you got to follow to be able to create better content. And we're going to talk about that rule, what it means, and how to do it with your channel right now. So I'm going to show you some of the things. We've done this before, but we're going to go through it again because I'm better now than I was back then as a streamer and as a content creator. And it's been a while since I've done this. You know, one of the biggest words I've been taught in content creation is being intentional. You hear everybody say, I hear Daniel Batal talk about it, I hear Nick Nimmin, I hear Dean Nimmin, but what does it mean to be intentional? And I've got a book I've been reading right here. I'm actually reading this book on Clubhouse. It's part of my other channel, which is the Intentional Prosperity Guide, where we talk about intentional prosperity, income, making money, spiritual and strategic plans to create more wealth in your life. But this is called The Power of Intention. It's all about being intentional. One of the things he talks about in the very first chapter is that there's 4 stages you have to go through of intentionality. The first stage that brings you into alignment with being in intention is discipline. You got to be disciplined in what you do. So are you disciplined in how you show up? You know, I could have just shrugged this off today and said, you know what? I'm 15 minutes late. I'm just not going to do live. But I've got the discipline to say, you know what? I said I was going to be there. I got to show up. Even if I'm late, at least I'm going to show up. I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm going to get there. We're sitting there in the middle of the McDonald's parking lot, and I'm sitting there telling my wife, I'm supposed to be live right now. I got to get home. So we finished up, got home so I could get live. So are you being disciplined in showing up? And I haven't been as disciplined as showing up on this channel as I should. That's something that I'm working on getting better at. One of the things that we're doing is we're going to be taking the recordings from these videos and these live streams. We're going to edit some of this stuff out, especially some of the early stuff, and edit some ums and ahs and stuff. We're going to actually turn this into the Conversations on Content podcast, which is why we're going to be doing these live, because there's a few things I'm going to be doing with the show. Well, I'm going to be doing these live stream like I'm doing right now, and we're going to be editing these down and putting them on the Conversations on Content podcast, which you can find on Anchor. We'll have a link to it on our channel over at jamesmpruitt.com once I get it all set up. This is going to be episode 1 of the Conversations on Content podcast. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, you can also check us out on our YouTube channel. You can check us out on our website. You can go to jamesmpruitt.com, and there's links to all of my social media sites, the YouTube channel where you can join and subscribe and watch the live stream of these podcasts. You can also find us on Clubhouse. We're in a lot of content creation clubs on Clubhouse, chatting. I don't have my own club on content creation on Clubhouse. I probably could, but I don't right now. Most of what I'm doing on Clubhouse is talking about money and personal finance and that kind of stuff, because that's really my main niche. But we also have our TikTok, we have our Clubhouse. So you can find us at jamesmpruitt.com, which is my website, and we can go all over the place. And we have our first viewer. Hi, Pia. Hello. So the first rule, or the first part of intentionality is being disciplined. Are we showing up? And are we doing the best we can to be disciplined in how we're creating our content? Are we being disciplined in our growth as a creator? One of the things I see a lot of people, I've talked to some people I've been talking to for a long time. And I got some good friends that I've met through the reselling community and through other niches that I'm involved in that have been creating for a while. But I've been talking to some of them, and their content now is not much better than it was a year, 2 years ago when we first met. Are you being disciplined in improving your content as you grow? You know, we want to keep making content, and it can take a long time, but we also want to be improving our content. Thank you. This is the new studio. Thank you so much, Pia. Yeah, we just finished it. I forgot this is my first live stream on this channel since I redid the studio. I actually have, I don't know if you can see it. They're actually, the differences in colors are actually letters, because my other channel is Intentional Prosperity Guide. So in this wall over here, I have my I and my P for intentional prosperity and black negative space. On this wall, I have my I and my P in black with the colors in the negative space. So I did it on the alternate walls. I thought that was a cool effect. And then we have the money sign, because we are talking about money on the other channel. All that came off of Amazon. I actually live streamed part of it, but I did record the entire studio build. I'm editing it down. It's a long video. I'm trying to get a 4-hour project down to a reasonable size video. But I do have it filmed, and I'm going to be doing a how I built my studio video. All this stuff came off of Amazon, by the way, except for the table. It all came off of Amazon. So there might be a few affiliate links in that video. I'm just saying. But yeah, we're excited. I'm enjoying the new studio. Man, I just got a whole bunch of notifications coming in all of a sudden. Turn those off. Yeah, I like it a lot better. It's a lot cleaner. It's not as distracting as it used to be. And I have more light too. And I have these lighting kits. They're these big umbrella lights. I've actually had them for years, but they were in storage, and I pulled them out as I've been redoing the studio. And I like them a lot better. I still have my Elgato key light as my main light, but the back is being lit by these big umbrella lights. And I have another light that D actually recommended. And he said, can you put some kind of a light over there just pointing down at your head? And so I did. And all I did was took one of those tin can lights. Let me see if I got an extra one down here. It's just one of these lights I've got a big floodlight bulb, and I just nailed it on the wall up over the foam panels. That's all it is. So there I've got basically 1, 2, 3, 4 lights now, whereas I used to have just 2 trying to light everything. And I think it looks so much better. One, it's better lit. It's not as distracting. I have the table there. And that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to look a little bit cleaner, more professional. But now you just got me, and I don't look so clean and professional. But at least the studio does. And I got a new microphone. Well, it's new to me. I've been using the Audio Technica ATR 2100, which I've had for several years. But I've got a storage unit. You know, for those of y'all that don't know, I do reselling. Started my last channel was a reselling channel. That's kind of what got me back into YouTube, was doing my reselling channel. But I started with cleaning out these storage units, but I have a whole bunch of stuff that I've still got in my own storage that I'm still cleaning out. Even though I'm not doing content on it, I'm still doing some storage unit stuff. So I got a $5 storage unit, and this SMB. It's a Shure SMB 4500 or SM. What is it? Shure. What is it? There it is. The Shure SM58 studio mic, which I looked them up. They run brand new about $99, and this thing looks. I mean, it looks like crap. It was in that storage. It's beat up, but it works just fine. It sounds better than the Audio Technica, I think. So that's my new microphone. I'm using that one mainly now. I'm still learning how it works. It's a dynamic microphone, which is good. And I just have to get my positioning right. I'm still learning the positionings. Evidently, if I stand further away, it does a little bit. If I get too close, it goes too deep. But discipline. We got to be disciplined to show up. I was supposed to be here at 10:30. I got here at 10:45. I could have just shrugged it off and said, yeah, I'm not going to do the live stream. I'm late. But I didn't. I had to have the discipline to show up. And then, I'm trying to be more disciplined and showing up better. I'm going to be downloading, and I've been watching your videos on it, by the way, already. I'm going to be downloading these because I'm going to be doing a podcast out of these live streams. I'm also going to be cutting some, especially when we get into Q&As and doing other stuff, I'm going to be taking some clips out of these videos and making short videos out of them. So my main content on my main channel, on this channel, the kind of edited content is really going to be just clips out of these live streams. I'm also going to be taking some clips out of them. If I get some good ones, I'll take clips out of these, post them on TikTok, post them on Mercari, do my shorts. And just basically I make this one piece of content and everything comes out of that. So I can even go into Canva, and Canva now not Canva. I can go into Camtasia Studio, which is my video editor, and the newer version of Camtasia, which I finally bought an upgrade. I haven't upgraded my Camtasia Studio since 2010, and I finally upgraded this year, mainly from some prodding from Nick Nimmin. I finally got the upgrade, and man, it is so much better than it used to be. See, I don't even have the 2100X. I have the 2100, the original. I've had that thing for like 8 or 9 years. See, that's the thing, is most of my studio, my gear, honestly, except for my Elgato key light and my camera, I've had most of my studio gear for about 8 or 9 years. Some of it 10 years. I haven't really had to upgrade. I really didn't need anything more. I'm not a gear guy. I mean, I know some people get gas, the gear acquisition syndrome. I've never really gotten gas. I spent 10 years of creating content before I finally bought myself a digital camera and stopped using my Logitech webcam. I still have my Logitech webcam. That's my backup in case the first one goes out. I've had to use it a couple of times. I finally did some upgrades last year. I got the Elgato key light, I got a Stream Deck, and I got me a Sony camera. And I did that last year. And then now I got the back paneling, and I've got a few other upgrades that we're going to be adding this year. I still have my cell phone. I'm just going straight from the camera today, mainly because I was in such a rush to get here. I just turned the camera on and went live. If I actually used my OBS, I have the Stream Deck set up with everything from OBS. I actually have a app that I can connect my phone with OBS and use my phone as a secondary camera. See, I don't have the ATEM Mini. So anyway, yeah, this is where part of two, where the other part of that discipline comes in. I got to be disciplined to get myself back on track, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the rules of content. So I'm getting distracted by conversation with PL over here. But we sometimes have to be disciplined to pull ourselves off of a sidetrack conversation and get back on track. We got to be disciplined in everything that we're doing. And sometimes it's being disciplined in knowing who we serve, knowing what we're doing and keeping our content. Part of the reason I have so many channels, that's one of the things I've been disciplined about. Part of the reason I've created so many different channels. Everybody's like, why do you keep starting new channels and doing the reason why is because I've understood for over 10 years the necessity of niche focus. So I've never had a variety channel. I've never had like a channel where I did everything in one place and then had to figure out what I'm going to do. I've always kind of picked a niche for this channel, and then I might change the direction, what part of that niche specifically. Like, this channel, I've talked about YouTube growth specifically. I've talked about content in general. I've talked about affiliate marketing. They're all kind of fall under the content creation niche, but different aspects of that niche. And like with my other channel, I started this Serenity Journey is talking about spirituality, and spiritual principles and how to, make spiritual transformations in your life. I specifically narrowed it down because I've been working with a coach. But one of the things that I found is as I narrow it down, I'm still talking about spirituality. I'm still talking about the same spiritual principles. I'm just talking about it in a more confined way, narrowing it down to this is how these principles apply to your personal finance and to getting out of debt and being able to build wealth and abundance in your life. And the reason I did that was because I was so broad in general, I wasn't moving. I went for like 4 or 5 months, and part of that was because I wasn't posting content regularly, but part of it was because my channel was so general and broad. I was getting like 10 or 15 views a video, and I wasn't gaining traction. I was just kind of stagnant. I wasn't moving. Almost as soon as I made the switch and started narrowing it down and said, this is what we're going to do, and we switched it to the Intentional Prosperity Guide, I lost a lot of subscribers. I lost about 20 to 25 subscribers when I first knocked it down. But if you look at my channel, you're not going to notice that, because at the same time, almost keeping pace with the subscriber loss has been, I've been gaining new subscribers. I already gained actually more subscribers than I've lost. And it's been kind of right along since I made that switch. And I figured for the first 2 or 3 months, I was going to lose subscribers. And I also took a play out of Pixel Pia's book. So since I made this new very narrow focus, any content that was not fitting in the lane of what I'm doing, I unlisted. And I unlisted about 60 videos off of that channel. So I went from having over 100 uploads to now I've got just over 50 now. And most of those 50 is because I've been doing the new content. One of the other things I've been disciplined about, and this is part of developing the discipline, to keep it short and simple. Yeah, I've got the autofocus on, and it keeps auto-focusing on me. And that's why it keeps going blurry and then clearing up. I haven't figured out how to stabilize the focus without using the autofocus feature. So I'm still playing with this camera. I haven't learned all the details of how to make it work. But part of the discipline too is being disciplined in paying attention to our audience. And one of the disciplines we have to develop is learning to listen to our audience. And when I'm saying our audience, it could be the people that are subscribed to us, but it could also be just looking at our analytics and seeing the data and making decisions based off of the data instead of based on what feels good. And the more I focus on data-driven decisions, which is what I've been doing a lot of, I've been able to make a shift. And whenever I made that shift on the other channel, one of the things that I was looking at was there's basically 5 areas I could have narrowed down on in the spirituality community. One, they're all really competitive. And some of them are not areas that I feel like I have developed enough mastery at to teach. Because there's still areas in my own life I'm deeply working on. The financial part, I'm not super rich. I'm not wealthy. I'm not even trying to teach people how to be super wealthy. I'm not trying to teach you how to be Grant Cardone. I like some of what he says, but I don't like a lot of what he says. Hi, KK. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help people get out of debt. I'm trying to help get people, and that's something I can do because I've done it. And I followed some strategies from different people. So I didn't follow any one person's plan. I kind of had several different plans that I followed. And I've kind of evolved. And I've been studying ever since I went through my debt freedom journey. I've been studying a lot about personal finance still, because it's still something that I'm still trying to improve in my life. So I keep studying it, keep studying it, keep studying it. I've learned a lot about it. And I've been able to get myself to that point. And I've been using a combination of these strategic plans and my own spiritual principles and stuff in how I've gotten myself there. And there's nobody really teaching what I'm teaching, the way I'm teaching it, because I'm teaching, there's two sides of it, and I'm teaching both sides and teaching how you can integrate them together to create a very powerful plan to move things. So that's what I'm doing on the other channel. But it's a slow process, and I figure it's going to take about 3 to 6 months for that transition over to really get the algorithm knowing what. So I'm not worried about it not blowing up fast. But I was actually shocked to see my subscriber growth at just keeping pace with my subscriber loss. I thought I was going to lose a couple of hundred subscribers, and then have to rebuild it, but I didn't. One of the things in the data that I decided to follow, I totally agree with following the data, focusing on what your audience wants. But the moment you forget to look at what you yourself like to do as one part of the equation, you lose. I agree with that. In fact, I think it was my last live stream here. One of the things I talked about was the balance between creating content for your audience and creating the content that you enjoy. I think you need to find a balance. I have some content, even on the new content I'm creating, I have some of that content. I don't care if anybody watches it. I'm creating it because I want to create it. But I know that going into it, so I don't have the expectation of it blowing up huge and being big. As long as you know why you're creating, that's fine. But we do have to find that balance. If we want to grow an audience, if we want to grow our channel, we have to find that balance of creating content that serves the audience and creating the content that we want to create. And we can also do, have multiple channels. I mean, I've got like a dozen YouTube channels. Some of them I haven't posted on in years and probably will never post on again. But I have like a dozen YouTube channels. I've started so many different channels. I could take any one of those old channels that I don't do anything on and just throw random crap up there that I don't care if anybody ever watches it. It's just fun stuff I like to create. I could do that. I've never done it, but I could. But then that would be time and effort into doing that on a totally different channel that I would rather spend right now with I'm at in my growth, putting content out on channels that I want to grow. Well, you always have to be true to yourself, but you also have to serve. It depends on your goals. One of the number one things, and it says I've had whole live streams that I've talked about this. You want to be true to yourself and authentic and real, always. But you don't just create for yourself. That's selfish content. You have to create if you want to grow. If you don't care about growing your channel, if you're just there for random fun and you just do it because you want to do it and you don't care about the audience, that's fine. But when you start serving the audience, if you really want to grow a channel, most of the people I talk to here, KK, you're not, really completely in my target audience because, you are, and I'm glad to help you with your channel in any way I can. But what I'm saying is the people I'm talking to the most are people that are trying to grow a channel, that are trying to build an audience for building a business. That's my primary audience, honestly, are people that are trying to use YouTube as a business. And for that, you want your channel to grow. And if you're doing it for business, then you have to serve the audience, not yourself. At the same time, you're going to burn out if you don't do content that you enjoy doing and that's true to you. So you got to kind of find the balance between the two, serving the audience, serving something, a need, because what's going to grow a channel the most is serving something people need, not just serving something you want to do. When you find the problems and you find needs that people really need to solve, and you find a way to serve them and enjoy the process of doing that, that's the most powerful place you can be. And this whole live stream today is about being intentional about what you're doing and creating intentionality in your content. So one of the keys is, how you're serving your niche. But one of the keys to intentionality is the discipline of making sure you line up all your ducks. And as you gain that discipline, the next stage that we talk about is wisdom. We gain wisdom as we have the discipline of showing up. And part of that discipline too is showing up and being willing to post the crappy content so we can learn what works and what doesn't work. And sometimes that discipline actually really benefits us. Some of my most popular videos have been videos I almost deleted because I didn't think they were good enough. I didn't think that they met up to my standards of what I wanted on my channel. And then I post them, and then they want to be in one of my most popular videos. So sometimes we have to have the discipline of just putting content out there, whether it's good or not, and then studying the data and learning what worked and what didn't work. Through doing that, we develop the next stage, which is wisdom. Wisdom is when we start taking our knowledge and what we've learned from studying other people and our personal experience and learn how they fit together. That's really what true wisdom is. When we take personal experience and education, knowledge, and blend them together. That's where we develop wisdom. So the second stage of this growth of intentionality is when we start to develop wisdom. Wisdom means we're studying our analytics and we're understanding how the audience reacts to our content. We're understanding, what's growing and what's not growing our channel. We're understanding how we relate to people in a more powerful way. We start realizing that wisdom too is when we start really diving into building that community rather than, just putting out content. For years, I used YouTube just as a place to put content. It had nothing to do. And so I wasn't live streaming. I would even, if I did a live stream, I wasn't even interacting with the my internet blinked out for a minute. Sorry about that. So one of the things I was saying is as we gain wisdom, we start interacting with the audience differently. We start interacting with people better. And that's going to allow you more stability. You also start seeing how people react. One of the things that comes with that wisdom is learning to set your channel up for success. So if I share my screen and I go, boop, 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 let's just go to go. All right, so I'm going to go right here. I'm going to share screen. We're going to share that one. All right, so we're going to share this video. Hopefully y'all can see it. Yep, it says it's sharing. So let's just look at our channel, and I've done this in other videos, but we're going to break down, some of the wisdom that I've learned over this. Your channel banner. What is your channel about? That's what should be on your channel banner. It shouldn't be lots and lots of stuff. It should just be what is your relationship. Then, I just have my logo, my change your relationship, the name of the channel, subscribe, and that's the only link we put up here in the banner. I see too many people still putting all their social links up here, and that's sending people away from your YouTube channel. Again, what do you want people to do? Remember, this is a billboard for your channel, so we just want to be very intentional about it. And then we come down here. We have our playlists. Instead of having our playlists that are just a random uploads, we want to name our playlist Debt Free Journey. That I did a lot of keyword research. That's a very popular keyword. And by the way, this playlist is already getting traffic for the Debt Free Journey keyword on YouTube, which is why I targeted that keyword. How to create intentional prosperity. My channel is Intentional Prosperity. I'm doing a whole series. I just started the first one. And then Secrets to Strategic Financial Planning. Again, keyword optimized playlists. And then Spiritual Principles. My shorts, how to use manifestation, because I'm also talking about manifestation. So these are all my manifestation videos. A lot of these are shorts, but then I have all my longer videos too. And those are ordered by most popular. So the most watched videos in those playlists are the first ones. We have playlists. Some of these I've unlisted, some of them I still haven't. But these are all my different playlists for the channel that I've created. And then I don't have a whole lot of channels that I'm showing. I thought I took that tab off. And then in our description, it's basically talking about who I am, what I can do. And then that's where I put my social links, my personal blog, my Instagram, my subscribe link. I don't put them all right here on my homepage. It's on my about page. Free of debt. And then are you having these channel trailers? Like I have 2 channel trailers. I have this one here that was literally a channel trailer. It's 1 minute and 40 seconds long that I created to show my to non-subscribe. Then my second channel is my second channel is what was I saying? I lost my track of thought when I came back. Oh, my channel trailers. So my first trailer, which is my unsubscribed trailer, is a 1 minute 40-second trailer that was specifically made as a channel trailer. And that's usually kind of like my placeholder. Whenever I made the pivot, I did that one as a channel trailer placeholder. What I would also do is over time, as I start getting some more views and I start getting some subscribes and I start seeing some data on what's working, what's not working, I'm probably going to put like my most subscribed video there as long as it's short enough. I still want to keep that channel trailer a short video, 3 to 5 minutes long at the most, because people aren't going to stay on your homepage for a long video. I see people with their channel trailer, a 20-minute live stream or a 30-minute video. And those just don't work as a channel trailer. It needs to be a short video. And then my second trailer, the second trailer is the subscribe trailer. And that's going to always be my latest video so that the people that are coming back to my channel can always find my most recent content. So that's the way I have mine set up. You can do that. It also depends on what you're doing with your channel. Everything has to be directed by what you're doing, and you're being intentional about even promotion of your channel and what you're doing to gain subscribers, who you're going to see. I go to channels that are relevant to the content that I'm creating. I don't just randomly go to anybody's channel. And it's nothing impersonal. It's just I don't randomly go to just any old channel. I've done that before, and it doesn't really work. In an interview, I'll get with you later, KK, on that. I talk to people all the time, so. A new outlook. Okay. I'll talk to you later. But one of the things that we're doing is as we develop that wisdom, we start being intentional about how we lay out our channel. We start being intentional about putting links in our videos. Are you filling out the cards? Are you doing the end screens? Are you doing a pinned comment with a link? And those should all, your cards, your end screen, your link in the description, and then a link in the pinned comments should all be pointing to the same piece of content. That helps direct where you want people to go. It creates a flow of your content so that you're directing people where you want them to go. And if you all have them going to different places, then you're scattering that. But if you focus and you put it, and I learned this from Daniel Batal, and it's been working really, really well for me. If you put that end card, then you put an end screen, and you put a first link in the description and the first link in your pinned comments are all headed to the same place, then that sends a huge clue to YouTube. When people start clicking on any of those links, they all wind up on the same piece of content, because YouTube doesn't distinguish where the click came from. All they see is, hey, they watched this video, they clicked a link, and then they watched this video. So if every link you're putting in there is directing them to a specific piece of content that's a good follow-up for the video they just watched, they're going to watch longer. And that's how you create binge watching on your channel. And you can do, this is something I've been testing, you can do 3 to 5 minute videos and lead them through the videos you want them to watch. So take those 20-minute videos, cut them up into 3 to 5 minute videos, and then direct them from one video to the next, to the next, to the next. Now you have a series, which is its own playlist, and you're directing them through that video. Where to go, where to start, what's the next one, what's the next one, what's the next one. You guide them to where you want them to go. And when you do this, I've been testing this on the new channel, and I'm getting more watch time. I'm getting more repeat views. I'm getting more subscribers, and everything is working out faster. And these 3 to 5 minute videos are so much faster. I can post 2 or 3 videos a week instead of one, which is giving the algorithm more data, more information on who to serve my audience to. If you can post 3 to 5 times a week, you're going to be ahead of the people that are posting once a week. You're going to grow faster. It's just going to naturally happen. If you can post every day, that's even better. But every day is hard for a lot of people, especially if you're working a full-time job, if you're doing other things. I can't post full-time all day, every day right now. But one of my goals is doing another 30-day push and that's one of the things I do. I don't try to push every day, but I do 30-day pushes. So I'll do a whole month where I post a video every day for a whole month. I don't plan on doing it every day long term, but I can do it every day for a month. And every time I've done that, I've had explosive growth during that month. Hundreds of subscribers, hundreds of new views, hundreds of new people coming to my channel. Since I made the pivot, one of the things I've noticed is my kind of switch too. I've moved from subscribe views being at the top to unsubscribed views being at the top. So I'm getting about 75 to 85% of my views unsubscribed views, which is where I want to be. And I'm still getting some of my subscribers coming and watching the channel, but I'm also getting a lot of unsubscribed views, which means I'm getting in front of a new audience. I'm getting in front of people that don't know who I am and what I'm doing. That means my content needs to be geared towards people that don't know who I am, not just talking to the people that are already following me. But the other part of that is I also want new subscribers. So if I'm not getting in front of people who don't already subscribe to me, I'm not getting new growth. And since I made this pivot on the channel, I've been getting new subscribers. I've been getting new growth pretty consistently. And I'm also showing up 75 to 85% of my views are non-subscribed views. So as I continue doing that, it's just going to keep going up. I just know that. I know it's going to just keep growing up. And there, Miss Jessica. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. So develop the discipline first, then we have to develop wisdom, which is taking the knowledge and the experience and blending them together, continuing to study, continuing to learn, continuing to grow, but also taking our experience and blending it with what we're learning. And when you can do that, that's when you really start getting powerful in what you can do and getting to understand why. One of the most important things, that you can do to develop wisdom in what you're doing is don't just say, what do I do? What is the audience doing? Start asking why. Why did they click off the video there? Why are they only watching 2 minutes of my video? Why did they click this thumbnail and not that thumbnail? Why? Why is more important than what they did? Why did they do that? When you start understanding why, you start developing wisdom. Not only why for your audience, but then also, why are you doing content? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? Why are people searching for this search term? The more you dig into why on everything about your channel, the more you're going to understand yourself, the more you're going to understand your audience, the more you're going to understand YouTube, and the more you're going to understand what works and what doesn't work. Why is something a lot of people leave out, and it's the absolute most important thing you can do. Why is more important than how. Why is more important than what to do, and why is more important than how to do it. Why is the most important question you can ask. Because why is going to give you all the answers. Exploring why is why you get rid of all the answers. I know I was on a rant with KK, and I see you. I saw you for a while. So the first thing we got to do, we got to have discipline. We got to show up. We got to do the work. We got to do the learning. We got to go through the periods of time. One of the things with the discipline and the wisdom, most channels that I see a lot of people that are talking about YouTube growth that are like 2 or 3 months in, and they're complaining because they don't have this big, huge channel yet. Now, in 2 or 3 months, especially if you're doing once a week videos, you probably got like maybe 5 or 6, maybe a dozen videos out if you're lucky. That's just not enough content. I see videos with over 100 videos that don't have 1,000 subscribers. In fact, I see some of the statistics I said that you will probably hit 1,000 subscribers within the first 200 to 250 videos. And that means if you're doing one video a week, it's going to take you about 3 to 4 years to get 250 videos. If you do 3 or 4 times a week, you're ramping that up a lot faster. It also depends. Every niche is different. Every audience is different. It depends on how well you pick up the skills. But the more you put out, the more your skills are going to improve. The more you put out, the more you're going to get better, as long as you're being intentional about getting better. As long as you're being disciplined and paying attention and trying to improve instead of making excuses for staying the same. If you're not trying to improve, it won't improve. But if you are intentional and trying to improve your content, trying to improve your engagement, trying to improve how well you communicate with people and how well you reach people, then the more you're going to grow. And so that's who it is. That's what it's all about. Then the third principle, the third stage is love. The third stage of intentionality is love. And you got to love what you're doing. And this kind of goes back to the authenticity, the being true to yourself. You've got to be doing stuff that you love to do. You've got to be doing content that you love to do. You've got to be enjoying the process, not just the end result. We don't want to just be in love with the results we get from doing YouTube. We have to be in love with the process of doing YouTube. That's why I tell people all the time, don't worry how many views you're getting. Don't worry how many subscribers you're getting. That will come if you love what you're doing. If you don't love what you're doing, stop making content. If you're doing it because somebody told you to do it, or you're doing it because you think you need to do it, stop doing it. If you don't fall in love with the process of creating, you shouldn't be creating. I'm not one of these gurus that's going to sit here and tell you, well, I'm not a guru at all, but I'm not one of these people teaching YouTube growth that's going to tell you everybody should be on YouTube. I actually see a lot of people on YouTube that shouldn't be on YouTube. And I can tell by their content that they hate doing it. I can tell by the way they talk and the way they edit and the way they present themselves. They hate doing it. They're simply doing it because other people talk them into it. And those people shouldn't be on YouTube. If you're here because you enjoy doing it, if you're doing live streams because you enjoy live streaming, whether anybody watches it or not, you'll show up. If you love what you're doing, you'll do it. If you don't love what you're doing, you're not going to show up consistently. You're not going to be disciplined. You're not going to develop that wisdom because you're not going to stick with it long enough to do any of that. So that's the third stage. We got to fall in love with the process of creating, with having bad videos, and the process of reading those analytics, and the process. Now, there's going to be things we don't love as much as others. I would much rather be editing a video, recording and editing a video than making a thumbnail. I'll be flat out honest with you. I can make thumbnails, and I'm getting better at thumbnails, and because sometimes I can kind of get into the process of doing it. But I would much rather be recording and editing a video, because those are the parts that I enjoy the most, rather than creating a thumbnail for the video. And my thumbnails kind of show that. My thumbnails are not that great. I'm not a great graphic designer. I've never claimed to be. But I've learned to enjoy the process, even though it's not my favorite thing to do. It's still a part of the process. I still enjoy doing it. I just don't enjoy it as much as the other steps. And I'm weird. I love sitting here digging into my analytics. I was sitting there. I get caught up. I spent like 2.5 hours just a couple of days ago, and I realized I've been sitting here for 2 hours staring at analytics and just digging into analytics and breaking down analytics on a video or on a bunch of videos on my channel. And I just went way too deep because I was like, I'm telling people too, when you're early on, don't dive into the analytics early on until you have about 500 or 600 or 700 subscribers coming back consistently, and you're able to generate some views. Honestly, your analytics don't really give you enough information when you're only getting 15, 20, 30 views on a video. When you start getting consistently 2, 3, 4, 500 views on a video, now you're starting to get enough data from your analytics to actually start making some data-driven decisions. One of the things that I dislike about what some of the people like Daniel teach, I love Daniel. I think he's great. He's one of my favorite teachers. But one of the things I disagree with him on is telling people to start digging into your analytics from day one. If you're from day one, there's only 3 analytics you need to look at. And I've done videos on all 3 of them. One is impressions. If you're getting impressions, that means YouTube's showing it to people. You want to look at your impressions, you want to look at your click-through rate, and you want to look at your watch time, and specifically not just the total watch time, but the watch time percentage. The percentage of your video that people are watching. This is why I went from 20-minute long videos to 5-minute long videos. Because when you go from 20-minute long, you might still be getting 3 to 4 minutes of watch time per video, but 3 to 4 minutes of watch time on a 5-minute video is a much higher percentage of the video watched than 3 to 5 minutes of a 20-minute long video. And guess what? When I break it up into 3 to 5 minutes, now I can send them to another video that's relevant to that they can continue watching my content. And it's really just a continuation because now it's that same 20-minute video just broken up into smaller pieces. That's really what I'm doing. I'm still making those 20-minute long videos. I'm just breaking them up into single videos, into smaller steps, and then stepping them to the next video, and then stepping them to the next video, and then stepping them to the next video. It's the same content. It's just more streamlined. It's in smaller chunks. It's targeting more keywords for YouTube to figure out who my audience is. It's doing more data, and I'm able to produce and publish faster with them being shorter. So that's one of the big things. Are you producing faster, shorter videos? And I'm loving the response I get. That's the other side. I'm loving the response I'm getting. I'm building that channel. It's slowly growing. It's starting to go in the right direction. Now, is it where I want it to be? No. My first goal right now is to get it to 500 subscribers. I'm at 263 earlier today. I'm trying to get it to 500 because then I can unlock the community tab. And that's going to be a lot of fun once we get that community tab opened up. Then once I get it to 500, then we're going to be trying to get it to 600, 700, and 1,000. And once we get it to 1,000 subscribers, then I don't care about subscribers anymore, pretty much. Actually, I do up until 10,000. I want it. My growth goal is to get it to 10,000 subscribers. After 10,000 subscribers, it's worthless. Subscribers, and this is something I actually did a video on why subscribers are important. As long as YouTube has features unlocked based on subscriber numbers, subscribers will always be important. So until I get to 10,000, yes, I want subscribers. After 10,000, I don't care if I get subscribers or not. Because once you get to 10,000, all the features are unlocked. Everything over 10,000 is just vanity. Up to 10,000, you're unlocking features along the way. Because at 10,000 is what I think you have to unlock, having the little bar underneath where you can put your merch and all that kind of stuff. And then there's also something else that unlocks at 10,000, but I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. But I know there was a reason to get to 10,000. But honestly, up to 10,000 subscribers are important because they're unlocking features along the way. Once you get to 10,000, yeah, you get the play buttons at 100. Yeah, you get a gold play button in $1 billion. I don't care about. Yes, I would love to have one, and if I get one, it will go right there on my wall, and you will see it every time I go live. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be nice to have, but I'm saying I don't care. It's not that important to me. What's important to me is, do I get views on my videos? Am I building an audience? Am I building a community? Because honestly, again, if 75 to 80% of your views are unsubscribed, then it doesn't matter if they subscribe. The only reason those subscriber counts matter yes, it does help, but again, over 10,000 is just vanity. Over 10,000 is just vanity because YouTube is not serving based on whether they're subscribed or not. They're serving based on their behavior of watching content. Now, the notifications, that's really the only other reason for people to subscribe, really, is if they want that notification that you're posted content every time. Because especially the people that are turning notifications off, there's really no reason for them to be subscribed to you, because all it's going to do is show up in their recommended content, and you can show up there without them being subscribed. Because that's more about their viewer history and their viewer behavior than it is about whether or not they subscribe to you. Because I have channels I subscribe to, I'm never served their content. Then I have other channels that I'm not subscribed to that I see almost every piece of content they put out. So, that's the thing. We got to train the algorithm to serve it to the right audience. Once they figure out who that right audience is, which is part of what I was having a problem with the Serenity Journey, because I was so broad and general on that channel, YouTube couldn't figure out who the audience was. They're already figuring out who the audience to this niche is since I made the change. Oh, and that's another thing. If you are making a pivot on your channel, make sure you go into the settings tab in your studio and change your channel keywords. Because, I made the pivot like 2 weeks ago, and yesterday I realized I hadn't changed my channel keywords yet. So, just saying, it's something that's helpful. So, one of the things that we talked about, we went to discipline. We went over wisdom. We went over loving what you do. The fourth, and this is one of the most important things, and it's something that nobody else teaches, but it's actually one of the most important things you can do as a content creator, which is to surrender. Let it go. So many people are getting out there and posting content and then harping over their analytics, staring at their analytics. Oh, is it going to take off? Is it going to take off? Is it going to take off? How many views I got now? How many views I got now? How many? I've even got people asking me, hey, you just posted a video 2 hours ago. How many views you got on it? How many views you got on it? An hour later, how many views you got on it? I don't know. Because, see, I post it and I let it go. I'm already moving on to the next one. The second I hit publish, I'm going to go check. I'm going to look at the analytics after a day or two. I'm going to look at the analytics. One, it takes 24 hours for them to get the initial analytics in anyway. But I'm not going to sit there and hold on to that. You got to surrender and let go of the results and move on to the next one. And that's part of that discipline, the wisdom, the love, surrender. Once you post it, let it go. Let the algorithm do its thing. I've had videos that I let go of. I'm going to show this. I don't show this very often. YouTube. This is one of my old channels. Is it this one? Hold on. I'm looking for a specific video and I'm not seeing it here. Hold on. I know it was in here. Nope, those are just. All right. That's only 4,000. Which one was it? Hold on, I'm looking for a specific video here. I had an old video on one of my channels. This is like a 10-year-old channel. I'm trying to find it. Where I actually posted this video 10 years ago, and it had like 10 or 15 views on it. That was weird. I think I went to screen share and I think I left the studio. I didn't know I'd cut out. Sorry. I've been talking this whole time too. I didn't know I wasn't showing. I thought I was showing my screen. I'm looking for a video that I did a few years ago and I couldn't find it. I had a video that I put out 10 years ago. When I put it out, it had like 10 or 15 views on it. I just saw it the other day. It's got over 50,000 views. And a lot of those views, just a year ago, it had like 40,000 views. So just because you put out a video now and it does poorly doesn't mean squat, especially when you're a small channel and nobody knows who you are. And this is on a channel that only has like 15 videos on it that I posted over 10 years ago. It's not like an active channel that's sending new viewers to an old video. No, this is like a old video on a channel I haven't posted any content on in over 10 years. It only had like 15 or 20 videos total on the entire channel. And it's still getting views now. It's got over 50,000 views on it. I have my original channel that was called Thoughts on Life Today, which is what was my original version of what became the Serenity Journey that I deleted back in 2014. I had some of the videos on that channel that had thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views. And the reason why is because I just posted them and I let them go. I surrendered. I didn't sit there and harp on them. I didn't sit there and whine about whether or not YouTube was going to like my videos or not. These were crappy videos too. 480p videos. PowerPoint slideshows were my presentations. I didn't even show my face. Some of them were software tutorials. Never showed my face. They were completely recorded on free software. It was before I got any of the advanced stuff. I didn't even have my microphone was my built-in laptop microphone. I mean, they were some of the crappiest videos you could make, and they're getting thousands of views on them. So you can't tell me that it's because of your gear, because of your equipment, because of how crappy your recording setup is. It's all about the content. Did you create content that made an impression on people, that connected with people, that solved a problem for people? That's really what our content needs to do. And especially as a business, people don't engage with businesses because they want to engage with your business. They engage with a business because you're helping them solve a problem. If you're in a business and you're not solving problems, you're not going to be in business. You've got to find problems that people have and help them solve them. That's our goal as a content creator in the business space, as a business owner. If we want to monetize that content, if we want to grow that content, if we want things that are going to expand, that are going to get virality. You know what makes people go viral? Honestly, it's content. This is the secret to viral content. And some people nail it and some people get this and some people don't. What really makes content go viral is the emotional connection that it makes with people. The emotional connection. So how do we quantify that? That's why people try to strategically do it. They're trying to think logically to make something go viral. The problem is logic doesn't make things go viral. Emotional connection does. So you have to hit just the right emotional chords. And you're not going to guarantee, you can't guarantee something's going to go viral or not. You can learn some earmarks that can give it the possibility of going viral. But what's going to do that is when you make an emotional connection. When you make an emotional connection with a problem that people have and that people want to solve, and you help them solve that problem and you fulfill that promise to help them solve that problem, that is a piece of content that can go viral. That's what it takes. Find a problem that people lose sleep over, help them solve the problem, and make the emotional connection with them early on in the video. That's what your title is about. Your title, your thumbnail, your hook. They should be making an emotional connection with the viewer and with a problem that they have. Either the emotional connection with how they feel right now or how they want to feel at the end. So that's the promise. The promise is how they're going to feel at the end. You got to start with where they're at and take them on that journey to where you want them to be. If you can figure out how to do that with your content, it's a very simple formula, but if you can figure out how to take people on that emotional journey through your video, it's going to go viral. It may take a while for YouTube to figure out exactly who the right audience is to serve it to, but once they do, it's going to blow up. So that's one of the things that happens. So the 4 keys to intentionality: be disciplined, develop wisdom, fall in love with what you're doing, and let it go and surrender. Those are the 4 stages of intentionality. The more you do that, the more you incorporate those 4 things into your content, the more intentional it's going to be, the more you're going to make the connection with people. And if you do those things, you're going to eventually take off. It might take a while. The average YouTuber that I've seen that doesn't have any experience. Now, I've got a lot of experience. I know a lot of people that come in that have experience before they ever got to YouTube. So we have to look at the average newbie that has no experience, can take 3 to 7 years. That's why most YouTubers fail. They're not willing to wait 3 to 7 years and show up every week. It can take 3 to 7 years. Now, the more you know, the more experience you have, the more you can bypass some of that time frame and ramp things up. Because as you bring your wisdom and your experience from previous channels into the mix, guess what? That's going to help you grow faster. That's going to help you grow sooner. And you can bypass some of that time. And some people just get lucky. My friend Adrian over at Farmstead Smith, now living in the Caribbean, she blew up within just a few months. But she had a lot of things going for her. One, she had nothing else to do, so she spent all day, every day studying YouTube and learned how it worked at a really deep level very quickly. 2, she had a really, really great engagement with the farmsteading community, and most of her blow up wasn't sitting around waiting for YouTube. Most of the reason she blew up her channel as quickly as she did is she did one of the things that I talk about all the time, which is getting out in front of the audience yourself. Instead of waiting for YouTube to send you an audience, get out in front of them yourself. She networked like crazy. She got up on every live stream she could within the farmsteading community, and a lot of people came and subscribed to her channel and became her community. That's what I did with the Storage Scavenger. If you really look at it, most of my time growth on the Storage Scavenger was done within a 3-month period of time. Most of my growth. There was about a month and a half, and I had rapid growth, and then I took a 4-month break, and then I had about another month and a half, and most of my growth happened during this about 3-month period of time. Total. And during those 3 months, that's the reason why is, one, I was posting almost every day during both of those pushes, and I was getting on every live stream I could. I was talking to people every day. I was getting up on other people's auctions. I was getting up on other people's live streams. I was getting in front of other people's audiences. It wasn't going to them and asking them to shout me out. I was getting myself on camera in front of their audience as often as I could. And it wasn't usually like the first time I did it. It wasn't getting out there one time and saying, hi, here I am, come follow me. One, it wasn't self-promotional. It was getting up there and serving. How can I give value to your audience? That's what it was all about. What can I do to serve your audience? And then happened to mention my channel. And there was some people that would come follow me and some people that wouldn't. And some people that would see me 3 or 4 times doing that before they would come follow me. But the reason I grew as rapidly as I did was because I worked my butt off during those short pushes. I was creating content every day on my channel, but I was also out there every day getting on as many live streams as I could. Not just my channels, but on other people's. And then I was also the other side of that, inviting other people to come onto my live streams. Then they're shouting it out. They're inviting their audience to come to my live streams. And they were coming on the panels on my live streams. So that combination of strategic work, and it was very intentional, but it was something I couldn't maintain that. I burned out doing it. I couldn't maintain that. And honestly, I like the reselling community to a degree. I got a lot of friends there. A lot of them watch this channel. So I love the reselling community, but it's not exactly my community. And it's not the content that I want to create. And I like reselling, but I'm not in love with reselling. I still do it. I still got some going on. I'm struggling. I have nothing on eBay right now, but I'm doing some more stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm looking at some other stuff because eBay doesn't like it when you don't do your shipping for 4 months because you're in the hospital with your daughter. And so my account with eBay is kind of in a bind right now. But I still love the reselling. It's just I can't keep doing content on that because I'm not doing it full time. And honestly, this is what I love to do. This is what I want to do. I want to create content. I want to be in the creative space. I enjoy this creation. I enjoy being able to come out and live stream with people. And then I love being able to sit and edit videos and doing that kind of stuff. And then I enjoy teaching people. I enjoy teaching, the process of teaching people and helping people. I get more thrill, and I tell people this all the time. I get more thrill out of seeing somebody else succeed because of something I shared with them and because they applied something I shared with them, more likely, than seeing a lot of money hit my bank account. And that's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing in that I love helping people. It becomes a curse when, my family wants to know why I need to make more money because they think I should be charging more money than I do, even when I do charge money. And so, that's one of the things that we're working on is getting all those eggs in a basket. I mean, one of the things I've been open and honest about with our Intentional Prosperity Guide is I am putting together, one of the things that I'm working on is a plan right now that I've been working on behind the scenes for a coaching program where I'm going to be doing a group coaching on coaching people through these processes I'm talking about in my content. You're getting it in 3 to 5 minute bites there, but I'm going to be doing me in person, doing these group coachings and really walking people through those processes on a really deep level. And also, giving them some exercises, giving some deeper content than what I will ever do on YouTube. And it's just because that content has value. And I also have to feed my family and I have to do some things that are going to keep things moving with my family as well. And I want to stop doing some of the side stuff I'm doing. I love learning more than teaching, and as a teacher, that says a lot. Yeah, that's true, Pia. So, anyway, I've been going for almost an hour and a half, and I got my dinner because literally we walked to the door from getting dinner, and I came in and sat down and went live, and I haven't even eaten yet. So, I'm going to go eat and go get some sleep, and we got a long day tomorrow. So, thank you so much for joining us. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you next time. Peace.